forward. Now, there are so many wastages, but we will come back to start addressing most of these issues when we come back from the break. We have a guest in the studio that will be running the show together. Is no other person but the former chairman, local government Amuwo Dofi, and that is Comrade AYODELE ADEWALE. So we'll be talking in full when we come back from this break. We'll be right back after this. All right, we are back, and it's still Crossfire with Dakwa and Ishoma. Today, we told you, before we went on our first break, that we'll be talking about wastage in Buhari's administration, in Buhari's government. Now, since this government came in, they've been trying to mop up all the monies, that have been stolen, the ones that have been stashed, the ones that have been taken outside the country, those that we probably feel have been stashed in some bank accounts, have been traced and tracked. And yet, we still have a lot of this money being spent, in a way that is not translating into a better life for Nigerians. Now, the first one that we would like you to, that we quickly like to bring out there is the former governors in Nigeria who are serving senators still receiving their pensions. How do you relate that? Now, state governments are spending billions of naira in pension payment to their former governors who are also drawing salaries from public purse and are serving senators and ministers. Now, 21 senators are currently receiving pensions from various state governments as ex-governors and deputy governors. Now, it is alarming to let you know that, for example, in Akwa Ibom State, the law provides that ex-governor and deputy governor receive pension equivalent to the salaries of the incumbent governor. Now, the package also includes a new official car and a utility vehicle for 4 years. Now, one personal aide, a cook, a chauffeur, and security guard for the governor at a sum not exceeding 5 million per month and 2.5 million naira for his deputy governor. Halami. Ishama.
And then the other issue also we'll be looking at also is the issue of frivolous international trips by the presidency and even the respective state governors. Now, we recall that an Abuja-based newspaper came out to say that the presidency had spent about 2.2 billion in Mr. President's foreign trips. Now, although the presidency came out to rebuff all that claim, saying that they had spent less than 10% of the 2.2 billion naira as claimed by the newspaper, and all that was spent was about 61 million naira only so far by the president and his entourage, excluding fueling of the presidential fleet. 61 million naira.
It's really very sad. Another very important one is to let us know that the fiscal policy of President Muhammadu Buhari, the question will be, do we think that this government is as prudent as the claim? Now, that's a very big question. Nigerians really want to know. Nigeria's economy could, actually contract this year, and President Muhammadu Buhari's government is seen as having planned to save for the nation. But unfortunately, in the last few months, indications have it that the Nigerian GDP is not anything to even write home about. And that's to let you know that the government is not particularly making efforts to make sure that all the loopholes where Nigerian monies have been. I think the only one that the Minister for Finance came up with was what they were able to do in the ministries, where they detected a lot of ghost workers and all of that, and that. And then the introduction of the TSA is supposedly to help the federal government to mop up, loopholes and block and peg those holes so that eventually people who have been using those mediums. Yeah.
So far, the TSA has been successful, but then there are other areas we can say that the
government. But not all state
not.
governments, for instance, are using the TSA, Ishama. Not all state governments are as obliged. About a month ago, the federal government released about 23 things that you have to do if you want them to support you. And one of it is that you have to, deploy the use of TSA to, as the only means of remittance and all of that, and yet we don't seem to be seeing anything remarkably being done in this regard. Now we still have let's take a cue from the security vote, Ishama.
Amazing. Now, the issue of security votes, it's something that we cannot exhaust talking about. Ex-governors, ex-legislators, and other stakeholders in the Nigerian economy have begun speaking on the controversies surrounding the security vote for Mr. President and the state governors. Now, despite the allegations that security votes are being abused by the executive, a lot of people still think security votes are important. And now, according to statement made by some governors, they are saying that they cannot let go of security vote, that security vote actually does come to their aid in situations of emergency when they need to reel out cash or huge sums of money to tackle security crisis. Now, the issue is, do we need security vote? Could it be a yardstick for fraud in Nigeria, or it's something that is inevitable, we just have to deal with?
Now what about constituency projects? Now, constituency projects, we have 3 tiers of government. We have the federal, we have the state, and we have the local. And yet, the legislators who are supposedly being, saddled with the responsibility to make laws and ensure that these laws are properly enforced, and it is being used in conjunction with the federal government or the presidency to ensure that it translates into proper policies to move our country forward. But interestingly, you have a particular amount of money being dedicated as for constituency projects, and these particular projects are being done by senators and Federal House of Representatives.
Let's not forget also the allegation of the 40 billion naira padding in the budget also.
Exactly. And so the federal government projects, the state government projects, supposedly they will be working very closely with the local government to getting those things done. So why has it become, and how has it become the responsibility of senators now to be doing projects? Because they pack this even into the budget. It's part of the budget. And this happened since 2002 during former President Olusegun Obasanjo's regime.
And most of the times, these monies find their way into their personal account.
Obviously, for obvious reasons. Most of the time, I don't see anything happening in my constituency. I don't really see anything. And most times when you complain, they will tell you it is the local government who is supposed to do it or the state government who is supposed to do it. And I don't see any reason why legislators are supposed to leave their seat reeling out policies and making laws and all of that, and then coming to sit in their constituency to start doing petty projects, be it water or road or housing or whatever. Because we need a lot of insight into this. Anyway, like we told you earlier on, we have Comrade ADEWALE in the studio, and we'll be running the show together. Now, my first question to you, Comrade, this morning is that do you think that the Buhari administration is as prudent as claimed?
Well, thank you for having me. I will basically tell you that the Buhari administration is very clean, very, very prudent, and very transparent. Well, you must quick to understand that people have the liberty to say whatever they want to say. But whenever these issues are brought forward, people also must come up with facts. It is when you have facts, proven facts, that you can hold somebody responsible for any action or inaction that the person might have committed and all of that. So I would say, from my own standpoint, comparing to past administration that I have seen and some that I have partook in, I would say that the Buhari administration and era is very transparent and very prudent.
Okay, so how do you now explain former governors in Nigeria who are still serving senators right now and some ministers still collecting pensions?
Well, you must understand that in the case of the rule of law.
Sorry to interject. They are being paid as senators and ministers, and at the same time they are still receiving pension from state.
We are governed by law.
Okay.
If society feels that action or that situation is very wrong, then they must also use the instrumentality of law to correct it. Part of it is what we are discussing now. If the preponderance of opinion is that For you to be serving as a senator and having served as a governor, whatever benefits should end there, and you continue with the benefit of the later office, so be it. But if there is no law...
No, comrade.
I'm coming, sir. I'm rounding up.
Okay.
If there is no law restricting it, we can only lament. Their pension, or what have you, that you call it, was brought about by law from the State Houses of Assembly. As long as that law is still in place, it has not been changed.
Now, we're being... I mean, this is a platform where we tell Nigerians the truth. Is it proper? I mean, let's use the principle of common sense. Does it make sense?
The principle of common sense will warrant that under this situation of ours, such a person should let go.
Okay.
Should let go of whatever benefit he or she is getting from his previous office because of the situation that we find ourselves now. But again, the people of those communities or that society should also stand up and change that law. I'm talking from the point of law.
Exactly.
But from the point of common sense, it is not ideal.
It's not ideal. Now, could some of these be responsible for the inability of the state governments? Because, I mean, talking about this, we're not talking about 4 governors or 3 governors or 5 governors. We're talking about a lot of them. We have Bukola Saraki of Kwara State. We have Rabiu Musa Kwakwanzo of Kano State. We have Kabiru Gaya of Kano, Godwin Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State. We have Theodore Oji of Abia State. We have Abdullahi Adami of Nasarawa State. We have Sam Egu of Ebonyi State. We have Shabalafi Aji of Kwara State. We have Joshua Dari of Plateau State. We have Aliyu Wamako of Sokoto State. We have Ahmed Sani Yerima of Zamfara State. Danjuma Goje of Gombe State.
Not even forgetting the current ministers in President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet.
We have Babatunde Rajafashola there. We have Rotimi, former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi there. And all of this, and yet we are talking about civil servant salaries, worker salaries unpaid. And these men who are in government and at that high level do not see any reason to say, don't stop paying us. Mind the state. As a governor, mind the state and ensure that your state is okay. And we kept on putting and passing blames on the governors not having ability or not paying worker salary. And then we have former governors who are still milking in the finances of a particular state.
Let's use President Buhari and Vice President Oshibaja as a case study.
Okay.
When they came on board, this issue of lack of money was germane to their interests.
Exactly.
To the extent that they want to solve it. And they voluntarily said, let their salary be halved.
Yeah.
And they put back the rest into the coffers of government. That is a sacrifice. So others should take cue from it.
No, but the Senate too. The Senate too. From 150 billion yearly budgets, they came to 130 billion. You know, and to them, they pushed about 20 billion.
It is not reduction in the budget that matters, but how realistic are all the ingredients or the items in the budget to the development of the Nigerian people.
Exactly.
When President Buhari, then General Buhari, was collecting his gratuities from government, it is on record that he is the only past military head of state that whenever his cars are being changed, he returns the old ones to collect the new ones. That's prudence, that's honesty. Let other people take cue from it. But remember,
why is the president not passing down this quality of his? I mean, that's a very big... No, it's a question mark on the integrity and the credibility of the president.
We are in a democratic system.
Okay.
He cannot do that. If he does that, you say that he is totalitarian. He cannot do that. You say he's a dictator.
Okay, but how come nothing has been said or done since he took over government?
What makes you think nothing has been done? What makes you think he has not discussed with them? What makes you think he has not advised them?
Okay, now we know the power of the
Constitution. It is the people that will determine what they want. Just as you are discussing it now.
I don't think any state...
Like you are discussing, civil society organizations must rise up to it. various legislators will go back to their people, have discussions, perhaps have a referendum.
But we know that this may not happen in Nigeria today, judging by the caliber of leaders we have.
It can happen.
But the other thing we could look at is have it in the Constitution, make it a constitutional
Who makes the Constitution?
But yes, of course, our honored members of the legislature.
And they are the bulk of them there.
That is why I said the people must rise up. You have started a discussion.
Hashtag I stand with President Muhammadu Buhari.
You have started a discussion.
Civil society groups have not taken this initiative
You have
yet.
started a discussion. You have taken the initiative. Either you like it or not, you are an extension of civil society. You are a medium.
Okay.
You have started a discussion, you have started a process. You must integrate all interest groupings within the Nigerian state into it. Sell the idea to them and let them see how realistic this is. You can even do the maths and let them see how much you'll be able to save if all these people sacrifice it. You can even say, for the period while you are occupying this new office, please sacrifice your initial benefit for the development of this country.
Okay, now,
as soon as you finish...
Comrade, I really don't want you to sound like a politician.
No, I'm being real. I'm being real.
Sincerely, you're sincerely. Because you likely may find yourself someday in their shoes.
If I find myself...
You likely may find yourself. So you don't want to speak against what is obtainable, what is on ground.
History and posterity will judge us rightly or wrongly.
Okay.
And I thank God for a program like this. It does not end here. This program will be kept forever in several mediums that can be played back. I was watching Joe Biden this morning speak. They were invoking things he has done in the past. I was also watching the newly appointed, or should I say, yes, they appointed him to be the vice president candidate for the Democratic Party.
Yes.
Look at what he did then. They are bringing it in, and these things are working for them. You understand? It's working for their future. So if I dare find myself in their shoes tomorrow, I will sacrifice my later and continue with my present and agree whether I want to benefit from my present or I want to benefit from my past.
Or so into your future, as it were. Okay, you were one time chairman, of a local government.
Yeah.
Local government, do they have security votes?
Yes, we did.
Okay, do you believe in security votes?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Okay.
To an extent that you account for it.
What is security votes and what is it meant for?
You cannot account what's not quantified.
What is security
it is
votes?
quantified.
Even in Nigeria.
What is security votes and what is being used for?
But let's look at the level of the presidency.
It is quantified.
Let's take
quantified. They sell this charade to you that anything security cannot be measured or cannot be accounted for, and what have you, forgetting the fact that a voucher will be prepared for that expenditure. Once the voucher is prepared, receipts will be gotten. Okay. Somebody will account for that funds.
Comrade, I don't want us to lose this thought. I don't want us to lose this thought. What is security votes?
Security votes simply.
And what determines the amount?
Look.
What determines the amount?
It starts from the budget.
Okay.
It starts from in budget preparation. Before you start budget preparation, you take aggregate from the community. You understand? Through a town hall meeting, as the case may be. Okay. What are the things that you require? What are the things that you want? Before then, you as a person or a party have come on board with a program. Now, you now just oppose your program with contemporary realities on ground after discussing with the people, looking at the resources that you are able to generate. Now, you have different departments of government. Security is a department on its own, just as information is. And you also have works. We take care of infrastructure. You have education. You have health. So security is a department on its own. Now, you look at the issues in your community. Do we have issues of militancy? Do we have issues of riots? Do we have issues of banditry, armed robbery, rape, and all of these things? Now, you look at the officers or people that are going to control the systems. For instance, police, SSS, immigration, XYZ. You look at the numbers of people that you have recruited.
But these are people
employed.
who are on the payroll of government and they are collecting salaries.
Wait. You are asking me to tell you, no, you're missing it. You're missing it. You're asking me to tell you how you come about a security
Exactly.
vote. Now, you have all of these departments that also have a stream of recurrent in order to finance their salaries and all whatnot.
Okay.
Now, the security vote is there as an intervention. Should in case any unforeseen situation happens that has not been provided for in the recurrent expenditure,
Okay.
you dip your hand in it in order to finance such activities to quell it. Okay. Security vote is not only used for buying ammunition and water. In fact, it is not even meant for that. It is meant for urgent
But there was a
matters.
There was a sitting governor sometime in there was a governor in the history of this country, and this is not so long, when he was asked the same question and he was explaining that we use part of security vote to entertain. For example, if I'm a governor and another governor is coming to visit me, I mean, we do entertainment. Do you want me to use my salary to entertain them or to take care of them?
Well, thank God that we have a charter that is not too correct, a constitution. You understand? And each of the constitution has different provisions. And in each of these provisions, it is expressly explained what those kind of funds are meant for. Now, if the governor has fouled the provision of that particular subject matter, then he must be held accountable.
But are you aware that
the governor has entertainment allowance?
Are you aware that the presidency actually said they don't want security vote?
They can opt for that and create and take it under a different vote.
But how do you explain? I mean, comrade. I mean, let's be very sincere here.
Yes.
Now, how do you explain that all these officers, based on your explanation, and we have a network of police officers, the SSS, and all of them who are security agents who are present or on the ground in a particular state. Now, these are people who have been provided for in the budget because their salaries are being captured. So at any point in time when there is an uproar or there is an insurgency or there is a problem, I mean, it could be any mayhem, could break at any point in time. How come you don't deploy them immediately to go and do their work?
Most times their excuse is always, we don't have fuel in our car, or we don't have this, XYZ, we are not equipped. We do not.
That's
this
very
is a huge
frivolous.
I believe security vote is a huge scam. It's a huge fraud on Nigerians. Because let's look at it at the local government level. We don't have community policing. So why do you need security votes?
How do you define community policing?
Are these security votes made to employ or made to be paid?
Are you bringing additional men?
Are you giving them to
exactly? Are you bringing additional men to come and fight? Are you?
Let's take it.
Anyway, we'll take one comment. We need to go on a break now. We'll go on this short break. When we come back, we'll be taking calls, and at the same time, we will throw more light on our discussion. Wastage in government, particularly in Buhari's administration. We'll be right back after this.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.